This is the class picture. There was 1, 2, 3 kids of color, that were brown. Because when it was like when I went to school, it was like the United States, but when I went home, it was like little Colombia. It was kind of like living two worlds. It's like when I used to go to Colombia in those pictures, I was the gringo. What do you mean? I was like the America, kind of like somebody from America, the United States, like never really felt like you fit in. My whole life there was something missing. My whole life trying to live up to something that never felt natural to me. My family comes from Colombia, a place called Ciénaga Magdalena. My parents came in about 1969 in refuge for what was going on in Colombia, still going on.
5 decades of civil war pitted the FARC and several other militant groups against the government and each other. Colombia bled. More than 220,000 people were killed and millions more displaced.
We moved to Kew Gardens, where a lot of Colombians and Iranians got political amnesty. My parents worked very hard. They did so many different jobs, from cab driver, butcher to housekeeper, all to put us in a better schools. My parents did their best and put us through Catholic school. They thought that it was going to be like a better education for us than it was public school, but all that came with a lot. Going to a predominantly white school, that image that they showed of what beauty was as blonde hair, blue eye, I always felt like I never fit in or hated the way I looked. In the 90s, it was just really strong to survival of the fittest, street to street. So I got exposed to, what street kids, more in the hood were hanging around, gangs, drugs, and coming from ancestral trauma to traumas growing up, dealing with the day-to-day, like racism, and I didn't really know what was missing, so, trying to fill that void with, like a lot of people do, those instant gratifications. That took its toll and really went into some dark places with alcohol and substance and stuff, to the point where led to a divorce, and that was quite hard on me. All the preconcepts that I had, of what the future looked like, for me and my daughter and her mother, changed, and that was completely the direct effect of that disconnection. So some time passed after we separated, and I met a wonderful woman that today is my wife, and we were dating, and one day I just kind of really opened up to her and told her more about myself and everything, how I was feeling. It was like lots of anxiety and depression, and she said that she had gone to a Native American ceremony and that it would help me out to go to this.
Fácil, pero esto lo voy a repartir para que todos agarren un poco.
Gustavo is special because he has a very enormous heart. He's a very caring human being. And one of the things he showed me, is how men are really very caring and loving. But sometimes they're not allowed to be like that.
Seagrass, just smelling it sweeten your thought. It's like the essence of our mom.
Culture, society, forces men to be very hard, and I always saw that love.
I came in here kind of like looking around, not too much trust. I have a friend that says he didn't like me when he first met me because I walked in this park like walking into a bar looking for a fight or something. Growing up, no, I didn't think I had any chance to get out of the city or where I was, or anything like that. But here's where I went to school on the powers of manifestation. You know, powers of painting your masterpiece, like my uncle says. I was exposed to a place of healing, a place of coming together and being heart opened.
So how is it supposed to go?
Arriba del otro, entonces te montas y bien. Ajá. More?
Yeah. One. Right there. Yeah. Right there. Rope starting.
The rope? About 14 years ago, came into this teepee for the first time, and it changed my life. In these ceremonies, we share sacred foods, the corn, the meat, and the berries, and I was crying eating that corn, you know, because I felt like I didn't even deserve this much beauty, you know, with all the disconnection I had and all the things I was involved with in the city, and I always feel like, man, I'm dirtying this place up. You know, I shouldn't even be here. And then an elder came up to me, and he was just like, oh man, you know, we're just some homies trying to be good in our life, you know. There's a lot of us, some ex-gangsters trying to just do good with their life, and you know, and it kind of welcomed me, you know, little by little, you know. It was there when I started to go to these Native American ceremonies is where I began to remember who I was, you know, my identity. I woke up to the notion that we're not Latino, you know, we're indigenous. It empowered me. It empowered me that I had a choice to live my life different. Special place, you know, but it was hard. It was hard to, not only because of the environment and the shootouts going on while we're praying and sweat lodge going around. It's like somebody getting stabbed right over there during a ceremony and all kind of stuff. But you know, this in here was a place, you know. After Brook Park, we had to be even more in hiding with the teepee and sweat lodge. There's so many obstacles to just come and pray, so more people didn't show up. They didn't want to hide. They didn't want to hide. So my wife and I are probably like the only ones that I know in this area or from our community that fortunate enough to take care of a piece of land upstate and open it up, back up, open our fires back up, open our way of being, our way of prayer back up.
I feel that indigenous knowledge and spirituality can and has and is being commodified, become something that people can just like book or schedule or pay for, and that becomes really a privilege. The people that I've worked with for a long time, you know, of lower economic accesses and language barriers and immigration status, don't necessarily are able to access that. But that spirituality, that indigenous knowledge really comes from their ancestors. So what we're trying to do here is to create a space that is accessible to the people that come from indigenous nations and that not necessarily have that access to those spaces. And maybe those spaces are not for them either. You know, it's more like creating the space for people like us that were displaced, that somehow were disconnected from our traditions, to find a way back to them.
So for me, like benefiting from places like this, You know, I feel like I have a responsibility now, you know. I feel like, you know, say calling, you know, it's just something that that you can't help, you know, when you have that calling for to be of service for your people. Tú, ven, hablas de la chacana, tú vas a decir, tú vas a comenzar todo y hablar de la importancia de esto y explica tú, hablas, ¿no? I always lead it, you lead this one. With the traditions and the culture, you know, there's so many different instruments and ways to keep you healthy.
There's many different ways that the Andean traditions make these offerings. So we've been learning from our elders and learning from remembering. But the ayu is the way that how our ancestors got to do great things, because they all came together for the same purpose, which is to help each other and to be in relationship of gratitude to the earth and to all the elements that give us life. So it's the honoring of life. And when we all come together, we are just stronger and we revitalize each other and we expand beauty and health.
This is our altar, a portal that's connected with a sun altar in Cusco. Really grateful just starting to learn about this one. Yeah. Bless everybody up. Highly, highly Pachamama! I want a place where the children don't have to hide on who they are. I want a place where our art, music, culture is celebrated, remembered.
One of the main things that were taken away from us through colonization was the ability to care for ourselves and love ourselves the way we were. We even took the journey of really denying who we were and having, to deny who we were and having to not like ourselves in order to survive. That's what our ancestors had to live through. And now in this time, we are really relearning how to love ourselves and feel proud of who we are and really realize how great our ancestors were and all the knowledge that they carried and carry, and it's still around us.
The elders have asked us to, step up and bridge more of the message to reach more people. We opened our home for our community to come here and pray, privately on our home, to have a place where we can practice our traditional health practices, to have a place where we can create art and have workshops and beading and traditional music and storytelling, a place where we can be us. One of our main concerns is to how we're going to do this and keep it sustainable, to be able to, be accessible, to provide this service. That's a big one for us. We want to be able to create these models for Indigenous peoples and all peoples and be able to give it to the people who can't do it on their own. ¿Ah?
Yo traté de pagar como Munay Wasi.
¿No te dejó? No mames, güey.
Can you check? I don't have access.
No mames. Sorry guys, hold on for a second. ¿Cuánto trataste de pagar?
Para gasolina.
What?
Pensé que lo habías apuntado personal.
¿Cómo va a ser? It was the thing that purchased on me, pero ¿cómo va a ser hasta así? Oh, you paid the mortgage.
Yeah.
Pero no me dijiste.
Okay.
Eso fue. Yo le iba a pagar muy después de la ceremonia. ¿Cuánto hay en el Peoples?
Tampoco no sé.
Lo cagamos. Coño, ahora it's gonna bounce. Oh no, it already left. Now you owe the bank that much.
Your energy shifted.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Financials, dude. Like it's an overdraft. It's just she thought that something, and I guess I made a purchase to fix this for the ceremony, and I got a generator to clean the teepee and all that. That was a lot of money. So usually, you know, just see if we have the before we send out the check, and she just went ahead and did it. So. I got fortunate enough. I was to have a friend who has a business, a construction business, so I was helping out. Yeah, I needed some money. You know, it's a good, honest day's work, but you know, I have other attributes. You know, another mission. Got 3 flat tires last week. Probably ran over some screws. One of them like that. One of them was clean, but the other 2, they were on their way out anyway. But I gotta rotate them.
Mañana?
Mm-hmm.
You want me to go?
7:30, same spot, same channel. It's $90 for the key, man. It's not even broken. I just need the shell.
This? So this is the future map, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Map of the future.
Map of the future. Should I draw 2 little afros on it?
No. Yes. Yes.
Like an aerial shot. So far we got the house. This garden.
Yeah.
And then here, starting here, from here to here, the greenhouse. Then the fruit trees. Yeah. You know how many people we can feed with that?
How many?
Lots. And that's where we can do like the theater, the kids' theater. And then you could be a hummingbird person in that story.
Oh yeah.
¿Por a dónde vas? Right? And then like, can't you see it? Right there. Right there.
Yeah.
All the postpartum, the newborns, they'll be in this nice little area with flowers. And then they'll be swimming in that
Me?
rainwater, us too, in rainwater and spring water mixed. And then we could do a yurt here. Right there, we can have our winter meetings, you know, get-togethers and workshops. And what else? What can we do in here? Yeah, my fear, you know, a little bit of not catching up financially with everything, and um, but I know that I think if I could just keep doing this thing and I keep talking to people, like, and I keep just doing my part, the universe is gonna respond. It has all this time from when I changed my life, and got sober, and everything that I attribute, is is that connection, that faith, that this is something. It's like it's almost not a choice sometimes. What else am I gonna do? What else?
When you look at this land and your kids and the next generation, what feelings come about for you?
One time when we first moved here, Mayus said he wanted to plant berries in the forest so that he can tell his grandchildren that he planted those. You got me in that one, all teary-eyed. And it's beautiful, because they're already forward thinking that this land's going to be taken care of, in the future generations. So they already know. They already know. And, they know that this is, theirs to take care of. That, this will be always a safe place for them.